Welcome back, folks. Today we'll be getting ready to paint your crankbaits that we previously sealed on last episode. If they're a little bit rough, just hit them with a quick sandpaper. It's just where the E-Tex soaked into the grain. As soon as you're done with that and you get it nice and smooth, then we can go ahead and we can mask off the bill using just normal painter's tape, just to cover up the areas that we don't want any of the paint on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. You just take a couple inches and you lay it on the sides. I tend to keep it real close to the sides. It leaves a small gap in the middle. I don't really mind that. Customers don't really mind that. But if you do happen to have a very picky customer, then you will have to cover all of it. So I get the first one, it looks like that. Then we just continue laying on tape. Looks like I'm going to run out before I finish this bill. Doesn't have to be pretty, it's just, just to make sure that you don't paint the bill by accident. So once you're done masking, you end up with something that just looks like this. And this one's ready to go. Here's some of the products that I'm going to be using. I usually spray with a Createx paint just because it's easier for me to use. I don't have to really worry about thinning too much. But I will be making a custom color, which I will have to thin, and I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to do that right now. So you want to you don't want your paint to go above half of whatever this is. Since I want it more blue than green, I'm going to be using this Cool Blue from Apple Barrel. Give it a quick shake, just make sure it's nice and usable. So there's where I am with the Cool Blue. Now we'll go ahead and add this Bahama Blue. It just has a green tint to it. Again, give it a quick shake. Don't add too much of it, otherwise it will change your color drastically. Go ahead and grab a stir stick. Get it off the table. We just go ahead and mix that up. And if this doesn't work, then I've wasted paint. So we end up with this nice real light blue, which is what I was going for. I'll just put a little bit down on something if I can find something white. So as you can see, it's a nice and light blue, which is what I was going for. This will be the base of this particular bait. So now we gotta thin it so that way we can use it. So I filled about half of the bottle, or the jar, and from there you just simply add water, another 50%, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio that I mix at. You can go a little bit thinner, it won't hurt it. And then we go back to mixing. You want to make sure it's nice and well mixed, and the water's just not sitting on top. This does take a little while. steps. I'll speed up this process a little bit. This actually sounds a little bit too thin, so I will add just a little bit more blue. And then if needed, I'll add a little bit more of the other color. Pick up that edge a little bit. Sounds much better. Still looks about the same. And that color is ready to spray. Okay, I spray all my baits first with a white coat, just so that way the lighter colors can show up on them. There are 2 baits that I will be doing that will have a black base coat. Since the white, I only have 1 airbrush, I'm going to have to spray all the baits at the same time. So you will see a cut line right here. I'm going to go ahead and spray this bait first with white, and then I'm going to end up continuing on. It's done. You just want to do nice and even strokes. Avoid tip dry as best as possible. You will get it constantly with white. Like I said, you will get it constantly with white. Just clean out the tip every time. Get right back to it. Now you're supposed to, hold solid air and then use the paint. My compressor is really loud. You will hear it at least 300 times during this. So I'm just trying to make it so that way the compressor does not come on immediately. After you paint all your baits, you go through and dry them all. Just use a normal hair dryer. Put it on high for first coat. Just don't get too close if the paint's dripping off of it, because you will blow the paint around. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now in between colors, you're going to want to backfeed your brush, just so that way you don't have to worry about the white coming back through when you switch over to, we'll say, the blue. It's going to be the next color I use. So you just get a bottle of water, you backfeed it, make sure no white comes out. Check the tip looks fine. Switch over to all the little ones. once you get the brush cleaned and you're spraying the color that you actually want to be spraying, since this is going to be a solid color bait, I'm just going to go ahead and dust the whole bait over again, over all the white. You want to make it a nice and even coat. You don't want to build up too much on one side. Since I only got one cup, I'm going to have to pause right here because I have to go clean the cup. The picture showed a Rapala glass fat wrap that had a slit in the seam where water would be allowed to get in and eventually throw off the wobble on the bait because it would be out of balance. Now, with mass-produced baits, eventually you will get some that are messed up. That one happens to be one. When you build your own, you won't have to worry about anything like that because, you'll be paying attention to all the details with the baits.